Perfect. Again, welcome to the Mentee Power Hour, you guys. Where every month we're going to be going over something that's going to help you grow your business and become better realtors in the industry, right? So this is to help supplement everything that your mentor is giving you and teaching you. We're going to teach you some fundamental basics that we want to make sure get covered when it comes to your guys' support and your training as new agents. So let me move on here. We're going to discuss something real fun today. So I want to share with you guys 5 ways to master your new business. So we're going to go over 5 different ways that as a new licensing, as a new agent, you should be bringing your attention to in your business. And this is going to help create a master agent or a master realtor. All the time that you're putting into your activities right now can be more fruitful or more beneficial if you focus on these 5 things. Okay. So if you guys are here in person, you do have the documents there in front of you. If you guys are on Zoom and you're participating online, go ahead and scan that QR code right there. It should bring you to a folder to 2 different documents. Is there anyone on the call right now that cannot or does not have access to those documents by scanning? Unmute and share. You guys can scan it too if you want it for later, a digital copy. Yeah. Anyone on the call having problems with the QR code?
I was able to open it without a problem.
Great.
Yeah, it works great.
Great. Okay, perfect. I thought this might be an easier new format for you guys on Zoom, right?
I love it. That's awesome.
Easier than having to mail it or email it to you guys afterwards. Okay, great. So we're going to start with the 5 ways document. Make sure you guys open this one up and have that one at the ready. We're going to go over what that means here. I somehow have this on the TV. Okay, there we go. Cool. Okay, 5 ways to master your new business. So, Shantae, read that quote for me.
The world is run by those who show up.
Right. What does that mean to you?
You got to be present all the time.
Yep. And the people who are doing business, who are masters, who are running the world, are the ones that are showing up. They're the ones that are taking this seriously. So this is rule number 1. What does it mean to you to show up in your business? Does anyone want to share? What does it mean to you to show up in your business?
Be accountable.
Be accountable. That's a good word. Who else?
Show initiative.
Yeah, showing initiative. I like that.
Available.
Who else? Being available. Yeah. Making sure you're available. Hey, Jasmine.
Making your list of goals, either daily or long-term, and then actually following through on them.
I love that. Those are all really, really good definitions. So let's talk about what it actually means to show up in each part about being an agent and being a realtor. And Deborah, we can move that table closer. That way she's like not so far. Let's just scoot it that way. So let's talk about what it means to show up. So the first category that we're showing up as a new agent is obviously our classes, our education, and our training, right? Which breaks down into 2 parts. We have one, our in-person trainings where we're showing up physically in person, and we have one where we're doing Zoom or digital, right?
Right.
So when we show up for our classes and stuff like that in person, when we're showing up and we're mastering our craft, what does that mean for us?
We're learning.
Yeah, we're learning. Absolutely, being learning based. That's an important part of our entrepreneurship that we learned through Keller Williams, is always being learning based. There is something that every agent can learn from every class, even if you've been in the industry for 20 years. I guarantee there's some new concept, there's a quote, there's something in there that will resonate with you in your business. So always be seeking learning. What else? What does it mean to show up and to master our in-person classes?
Get the most you can out of them.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I hear the same thing, you hear something different every time.
And you guys are even, I like how you're going deep into the psychological part to it, but we need to go back to the fundamentals. What does it mean? It means bringing a notepad and paper and taking notes.
Right.
It means doing things called active listening. Do we understand what active listening is? Active listening is when we're giving some type of verbal and bodily confirmation of about the information that we're hearing, right? I agree. Shaking your head. When they ask you questions, you're engaging.
And not multitasking.
And not multitasking. Not multitasking, right? Show up on time. Be early. One of my other things about in-person classes, what does it look like to the instructor when the front 2 rows are empty?
We're afraid.
People are afraid. Would you agree or disagree that people that run the world sit up front?
Yeah. Front center.
Front and center, right? That's how we show up for in-person stuff, right? Okay, great. Let's talk about Zoom. We've got our Zoom friends out there too. How do we show up and how do we become the master of our classes when we're on Zoom?
I'd like to be camera ready always, but not always. I have to work on that.
Real quick, participate. Yeah, actively participate. When we're on Zoom or we're in person, let me tell you, the instructors know who you are and whether or not you're paying attention and whether or not you have the camera on. Okay, let's get some hard, real truths here. As an instructor, and I'm sure our seasoned instructor agents on there would agree, we don't care if you don't have makeup on.
Oh, okay.
We don't care if your bedroom is a mess. But what we care about is to see you do the same thing you would do in person. Actively engaged. That way we know you're listening to the content. That way we know you're getting it. All of us are here to help. Right? Think about that. All of us are here to help. I have classes and meetings almost every single day. If my camera's not on and I'm not in a deathbed, I get booted from the meeting. And then guess who gets a fun email? Mentees. Right? There is no reason as new licensees we're not engaged and showing up for that stuff. Right? Digital, totally fine. Turn your camera on. People ask you questions. Engage. Right? When I say, hey, Shantae, blah, 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 what do you think about that? And no one responds.
Yeah, that's gotta be horrible as a presenter.
Well, and it's not just, think about it. It's not just from the perspective of the presenter. We're here to help you learn, right? We're here to help you learn. So if we don't know if you're learning, how do we know how to tailor the content to make sure you're getting the best out of it? Right? So in all aspects, show up. Don't forget little things like make sure you're muted. It happens all the time. We log on, we're not sure if we're muted, we're not sure what's going on. Trust me, no one wants to be that person that's unmuted and clearly you're not paying attention to the class because you're talking to your kids or your dog or something's going, you know, you're out running errands. We've all done that. I get it. We've all done it. But nothing says I'm not giving you my full attention and I'm not dedicated to my craft more than having those background noises happen, right? Again, participate and do that. I love it. What else does it mean like to show up to events like the broker preview? What does that mean? When we want to show up and be the master of an event like that?
Talk to others.
Yeah, talk to others. Look at every opportunity as an opportunity to grow and to network.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The broker preview. Again, show up on time, early. Be presentable. We talk about that a lot. There are some companies that'll say, you know, hey, I want you to wear this, or I want you to look a certain way. That's not who we are here because I want you to flex and express your individuality. But whatever professionalism means to you, whatever going that extra level up means to you, show up to those events that way, right? If that means putting yourself in heels, if that means wearing flats rather than flip-flops, if that means, you know, whatever, putting on a dress shirt, ironing it for once, you know? whatever that level up means to you in your capacity, right? Showing up for that. I love that. Again, asking engaging questions when we're at those networking events. What does it mean to show up for our appointments? Like, what does that mean to you guys?
Present and listening to them, not just yourself.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And be early.
Yeah.
Be like ready to answer questions, so be informed.
Yeah, be important, be prepared. I think that's really important, right? What else does it mean to show up? Maybe Zoom people, what does it mean to show up and be ready and be the master of your appointments?
Be 100 million% prepared. Do your homework.
Yeah.
Study as much as you can. Rehearse. Have everything ready, and then it's go time. Get after it.
Yeah. I love that. You hit the nail on the head. Rehearse, practice. We owe it to our clients to know what we're saying. Right?
Also, it means showing up early and confirming your appointments before, like being in communication with them before you even meet with them.
Yes, totally. Right? When we have a doctor's appointment or we have a dentist appointment, they call, they text, they email to confirm. We need to apply that same science to our business. It's going to help you guys increase your no-show rates or decrease your no-show rates and increase your show-up rates, right? Because you'll get people that book appointments all the time that forget, just genuinely forget about it.
Yeah.
And here are you as a new agent are going to think, oh, they didn't want to meet with me. They're not wanting to buy a house. Now they're not talking to me and they're ghosting me or whatever. You're going to come up with every instance in your head that's not the actual instance, which is they just plain forgot. Their lives got busy. Kids get sick. You know, whatever. They have COVID. That's a legitimate thing still, right? Again, you know, writing and taking notes. I cannot stress this enough. Even if you quick flip the notes and throw them in the trash on the way. One of the things I learned very early on in the industry and within my education is that taking notes physically, either on an iPad or on a pen and paper, whatever that is, even if you're jotting down chicken scratch, it's going to help create and connect those neurons in your brain that's going to have those long lasting memories and relationships with the people that you meet. So as you're asking them questions, jot the notes down. You know, hey, what is it that you're looking for?
It's also a really great way to showcase active listening, that you're actually paying attention, that you're not thinking about that you need to pick up some dog food on your way out. You're like right there in that moment. And that's a sign of a very, very good respect towards the other person and their time.
The other thing is,
Totally. Good point. Good point.
If you have notes, you can circle back at the end and say, let me just review what I heard and to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
adding to that, the previous times that I've been here, I've had like a sheet of paper and I write my notes down, and then I get home and I write them down on my notebooks. I rewrite them, and just kind of like rewriting them, I'm thinking back to the class and like kind of remembering things, and it kind of sticks a little better.
Absolutely. And again, it's a wonderful system. Then go put the notes in Command or your CRM. You know, again, even if you just keep them in a notebook, it shows people that you're actively listening and caring about what they are asking and what they're saying. And then you're going to have many other touch points after that. When you meet with a client, then you're going to know how many bed bath count, and you're going to remember what it is or what they liked or they didn't like. And that's the thing that's going to set you guys apart as new agents.
And something
Right.
personal about that.
Something personal.
Hey, how did that event go? Or how did that?
Yeah.
How's your birthday or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a
Absolutely.
client the other day and I was like, give me a minute, let me get a notebook so I can write everything down. I want to, write
Yep.
everything down.
Yep.
Like, okay, so everything she said, I was just writing it down.
Yeah. When I met with you guys for our recruitment appointments, I write stuff down all the time, right in front of you, right? We can't trust our memories.
No.
Say that. We cannot trust our memories.
Especially if you start to have multiple listings and representations.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's gonna get confusing.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for that day.
I know, right? Any other comments about this topic? Rule number 1 of mastering your new business. Any other comments about showing up? Deborah, do you have any comments about it? Showing up and being the best you can be in everything that you do, classes, networking, etc.
Pretty much everything.
Yeah. Engaging. Cool. Let's move on to number 2. Oop, wrong way. Cool. Let's move on to number 2. What is more important than lead generation? Okay. So let's talk about mastering our business. So we talked about showing up. So we know that we're here. We know we're present. We know our body is going to be ready. We know our mind is going to be ready because we're going to be learning based. We're going to be focused. We're going to be engaged. This is something that gets missed so often as a new agent, is not protecting our lead generation time. Okay. This truly, if I could say, is one thing that you need to focus on in order to grow your business. It's got to be your lead generation time. Okay. So what if I told you, how many of you guys like to lead generate? Raise your hand.
I like to door knock. I mean,
I actually do.
Generating,
I like lead
right?
generating.
Right. So
I
2
work.
out of 14.
oh, texting and DM is easy.
Okay.
It's just
Oh
the
my
phone. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not-
Honestly,
it's weird.
no, you know what's funny I was going to say about that is for me, honestly, I'm not even going to pretend. Sometimes I really like it. Sometimes I don't. I've been in sales for 1,000 years. And the thing is, there is no way on earth that anybody loves to do it 24 hours a day.
Of
If they do, then they're different from me. But there are times that I don't like to do it and I don't want to do it. But the thing that I learned, like you're saying, is you just have to do it whether you like it or not. Like you have to honor your the goal that you made and not what you feel like doing at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm assuming about the same response. How many of you guys like doing the dishes? Deborah. There's that C personality. Who else likes doing the dishes? I know Leroy's hand's not raised. I'm looking at it.
So I don't mind. I kind of like it.
I
No,
love doing the
don't like
dishes.
it. Who, Debbie, do you like doing the dishes?
I love doing the dishes.
Okay, great. Again, almost the same response.
I'm like, there's no way that someone's gonna like doing the dishes for 24/7.
Yeah, for sure. Not 24/7.
Oh,
but-
not 24/7.
Well,
That's
I
the
mean,
beauty
that's
of doing the
different.
dishes. You
That's
do them and then they're done.
Yeah, you do them when you're done. There's a gratification to it, right?
But I also get
So,
down being in the
Clean,
same.
I like
So,
clean.
Right, right. What if I told you?
I just hate doing the dishes.
Right. I love that. Okay, so Ray, I'll use Ray since she was so passionately anti-dishes. Ray, if I told you that every day tomorrow when you wake up and you see those dishes in your sink, when you're done washing those dishes, you'd have the opportunity to earn $10,000 or more, would you do it?
I'll fucking wash dishes for a year long if that's the result. That's what I'm saying. I will lead generate 24/7 if that's gonna bring me the results. Discipline will take care of my emotions. That will be like, oh, today I don't feel like it. Doesn't matter. It's discipline. You show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason we word this question this way is lead generation is no different. The rare agent enjoys true lead generation, right? Which we'll break down in just a second. But it's not about enjoying it. It's that what if I told you your next phone call could earn you $10,000 or more
Yeah.
in most instances? What if when you went to do the dishes, I told you, Shantae, you have a great opportunity to earn $10,000? Would you do it? Yeah.
Like she said, yeah, I do
You
it.
would. So we have to start shifting our lead generation mindset to this and this alone. Every time you pick up the phone, every door that you knock, every open house that you do, you have the opportunity to earn at a minimum of $10,000 in our market, quite honestly. Right? We give out commission checks all the time. They're $30,000, $40,000 or $50,000 too. But think about it this way. It's just all about our perspective and the way that we look at it. So how often should we be lead generating? We should be lead generating every day, Monday through Friday, right? Or at least 5 days a week. If you don't work Monday through Friday, you know, obviously implement your schedule if you take Monday, Tuesday off and you guys work the weekends. Here's the deal. The golden rule is 3 hours a day. Golden rule is 3 hours a day. What do we do during those 3 hours a day? Well, we can lead generate in multiple different ways. Remember, lead generating isn't just picking up the phone and cold calling. Yes, that's an aspect of lead generation that people like and appreciate because it's easy and it's rewarding. Remember when some people were saying, oh, I like, if you're on the call with the dishes, I like it when it's done. I like it when it's over. When you do calling, whether you're calling your sphere or you're cold calling people, there's that satisfaction of being done. I did X amount of calls, I booked X amount of appointments, and I have an X amount of dollar potential income from this day's work.
That was my fear, is cold calling. You said it's easy?
I'm saying it's easy when you put on the perspective of, think about it, that call, every call you make could be $10,000 or more. Imagine if you're doing 20 a day. Imagine if you're doing 100 a day, right? So it's all about shifting that perspective of making it feel easier for you,
I
right?
did it. I overcame my fear, so I did do it.
Exactly. You did do it.
Yeah, I did it.
For how long?
Maybe like 20 minutes.
Great.
Door knocking was my
Right.
fear, and I overcame that. I knocked
Right.
about 200 and some doors,
Right.
but see, that Bo helped me out. So
And-
I appreciate Bo.
And that's
Yep.
where
Yeah.
whatever lead generation means to you and your coach, listen and work with your coaches on what lead generation methods work for you, right?
Try them all.
Try them all. So on here, you know, when do we do lead generation? There's calling, we're calling our sphere. We can call cold leads and get them from places like our title representatives so that they're the next sellers list. So at least they're in the realm of needing to sell their house, right? All of those opportunities can happen in that 3 hour window. Texting, if you're direct messaging people, that's an okay form of lead generation as well, right? Direct messaging on social media, door knocking, and open houses. Now, these are the only categories that are active lead generation. Don't be fooled. Our 3 hours that we're supposed to be lead generating a day has to be active lead generation. What's an example of passive lead generation? Mailers. That's a great example. What else? There's many others. What's an example of passive lead generation? Mass emails, email campaigns, right?
Text messages.
Well, technically text, if it's direct, it's still technically active because you're directed to a consumer. Mass text, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Right? Social media posting, that's passive lead generation. Facebook ads, passive lead generation. The difference between active and passive is that active is the part that we can control. It's lead generation where we can control the outcome to a certain extent. Passive is something that we're leaving things up to chance. We're leaving it up to things being ambiguous and people reaching out to us directly. We want to be the ones to take the step and reach out to them. Okay? Got it. So again, 3 hours a day is what we want to protect most people. And, you know, don't forget open houses. Open houses are coming back strong. That's a great way to lead generate. Those of you guys that are doing them are seeing good results and seeing things come in. Talk to your mentors about watching someone, about shadowing someone if you haven't done it on your own so you can hear the vernacular. Remember, most of our agents in our office are going to be very generous when it comes to watching and shadowing them. Build that connection. Okay? Any other comments on this?
No, not for me.
Besides the fact I will never give Rhea my dishes. Okay, so great. 3. So let's talk about 3 ways to master our new business. Number 3, Make your time in the office productive. Office time is essential for every new licensee, right? When you're building your business, you need to schedule office time in our time blocking in our activities, right? So what happens when you come in the office? You guys are here for 10, 20 minutes, you're bored, you don't know what to do, and next thing I know, you're out the front door without even saying bye, right? What are some of the things that we could do in the office to stay productive? So if you guys have in those documents, I do have an office checklist of tasks that I want to go over. So go to that one for me, which is the secondary one, that checklist. There you go, right next to it. Deborah, do we have an extra copy?
I thought I found it there, so.
No, it's okay. The checklist.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, great. Cool. So how often should we be spending time in the office a week as a new licensee, as a new agent?
Good question. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah. Give me your opinion. That's a good question. What's your opinion? Everyone on the call, how often should you as a new licensee or a new agent, let's ask one of our coaches or mentors, Leroy. How often do you think a new licensee or a new agent should be in the office? Your opinion?
At least 10 hours a day. I'm sorry, 10 hours a week.
A week.
Oh, so like,
Yeah, I love that. Who else? Kimberly, as often as possible. Great. Who else? Anyone else have a comment?
I was gonna say what Leroy said, actually, a couple hours ago.
Yeah. Honestly, to me, the golden rule is to make sure it's at least a third of your business activity being in the office as a new agent, right? So in Leroy's instance, and again, work with your coach because they're going to help find a thing that's going to fit for you. In Leroy's instance, absolutely. If you're working full time as an agent, you should be in here 10 hours a week. And again, that can include education time, right? That can include education and meeting time. Absolutely. Now, if you're someone that's part-time and only has 10 or 15 to 20 hours a week to work on your business, what if we did a third? What would be the golden rule? 5 hours or so.
Yeah.
If you're working 15 to 20. Okay. As much as you possibly, again, about a third. So what do we do and what are we getting when we're in the office? We're absorbing like a sponge. When you guys are here, eyes and ears and mouths open, engaging with people here in the office. Okay. Let's go over our little checklist. If you're not sure what to do during that time, if you're going 10 hours, how am I going to sit here for 10 hours, right? Contact all leads and past clients. Perfect opportunity to do your lead gen time. Let people hear you. Have your resources here to help you. Have the Halleys, have the Debras, have all the coaches on the calls, the Leroys and the Michelles. They're here to help you during that time, right? Create and schedule social media content. That's a wonderful thing to do. Through commands, you can pre-schedule social media content to go out on your business pages, on your personal profiles, right? Even if it's just on the platform itself, you can schedule that content.
If you go on to see our keeping matters current, you can.
Keeping current matters.
Thank you. You can schedule it so it does blog posts for you and include all the updates. That took a huge burden off me. Just it was worth the money to spend to do that. And then I'd go in and put a little my 2 cents and then make it a little more personal. But at least I knew something was going out.
Yeah. And also on all platforms, like on Facebook, for example, you can pre-schedule posts, just like a regular old post.
Yep.
Pictures you had from your vacation, happy birthdays to people to go onto their wall. All of those things are an opportunity. If you time block, it allows for better and more consistent social media lead generation, right? So it's totally something we can do. We can make a live video. Do you guys know we have a green room?
No.
Yes, we have a green room.
Real professional.
There's a green room for you guys to have a green screen to be able to take videos.
Where is that?
Yeah, check with the front desk as to its location because it is
It's gonna get
on
moved.
wheels and has been moving. It's not designed.
Currently, it is back there by the kitchen. And again, you guys, there's ring lights back there. There's,
my.
yeah, and there is a green screen back there. Most of us at the front desk will be able to stop and help you record something if you needed to. Just schedule the time ahead of time. It's going to be possibly moving here for right now, but anyways, it's located here in the office. You guys can use that time to edit, to film, and to create video. A wonderful idea.
Practice with
Practice.
yourself, with a friend, whatever, just
Yeah,
check it out.
absolutely.
It doesn't, it's so underused,
Yeah.
you know? It
Yeah.
really doesn't get enough use, so love to see it.
Great. Practice or refine our listing presentation. It's been a while since I've seen y'all in here practicing your presentations. Okay, absolutely something you can practice. Get your listing presentation together. Do not wait until you have a listing to put your listing presentation together. Okay? It is a scramble, it is stress because you're filled with excitement. Oh my gosh, I have a listing appointment. I'm so excited. I'm so excited, Coach Leroy. I'm going to meet with them tomorrow. And then in the next 24 hours, right? Total panic. They're putting things together. You know, you're trying to pull comps, you're figuring out who's got what. It's not printing and it's, you know, don't wait. Don't wait. Have it done, have it ready, have the base presentation ready. Practice it, practice your dialogue. Practice articulating who you are and your value proposition. Practice objection handlers. When they say, I think now's not a good time to sell, know exactly what you're going to say to that objection. Paula, I'm not going to pay a 6% commission. Know exactly what we're going to say to that objection.
Script and role play.
Script and role play, right?
Depends on how you want to handle it. I think it was Allison who said, that's okay. Here are the things that I do for that percentage. Which ones do you not want? The mailers.
Yeah.
I went, that's really
Everyone approaches it a different way, but the point is we have to practice saying that, right? We hear people speak and say these things and say these rebuttals to objection handlers, but do we really know what to say?
Yeah.
Do we feel confident in saying it when someone pushes us a little bit, right?
Yeah, I'd like to hear her say it because I don't want, if I ever wanted to use it, I wouldn't want to come off snarky. And I'm sure that she doesn't.
Well, and again, perfect example, you feel like Allison said it articulately, right? And said it that way. Write down what you can remember, write what you can and ask your coach or your mentor, someone like Deborah, or even Allison, hey, I'm working on this objection handler. You said something like this. Here's the bare bones of what I got. What can I do to improve and change? Don't wait for someone like that to get back to you. Master it. Yeah, get ahead of it, right? It's easier to manipulate what you already have than have someone give you something from scratch. Right? Yep. Perfect. Make or update our buyers packets, right? When we meet with buyers, we should give them, or sellers, we should give them some type of material. Most people do. I really liked giving things to my buyers. For example, a sample RPA that we would go over, especially if it was serious. Examples of, you know, my marketing, testimonials. Get together those packets and have them together. You should have a buyer's packet that you bring with, right there. You got a little checklist.
Yeah.
Ask your coach and your mentor to show what they give to buyers, right? What they give to buyers. Maybe it's a pricing sheet from your lender is included in there. Maybe it's a market overview, whatever it is, it can be anything, right? That's something you can do and create and make if you don't have one. Search properties to preview. We're going to go a little bit into preview and pricing, so I'm not going to delve into that right now. Create or clean up our CRM. Who's got a CRM that they're actively using and prospecting from? Anyone? Who has a CRM that they're actively working and prospecting from? Okay, cool. So that's when you guys are going to fall under the create word of this. Create, maintain your CRM. I don't care if it's an Excel spreadsheet, if it's command, if it's follow-up boss, if it's whatever you want to choose. figure it out, create a system and implement it. We lose so many leads and so many contacts by not having a passive opportunity to market to our leads and clients that come into our database. That's secret money. We talked about that $10,000 money thrown around. That's when one name could bring you $10,000, right? I'm going to tell you this anecdote. When I first started in the real estate industry, digital sign-ins were not super readily available, and it was still kind of a new thing. So I still like to use paper technology. When I left my past company, I went through my desk, and lo and behold, that wonderful paper technology was shoved in the back of my bottom drawer. After following up with those leads, about 60 or so, realized that I lost out on 3 opportunities. They already bought or sold. Right? Don't be like, okay? Don't be like me. Got it? Have and create a CRM or clean up your CRM. If you have it, use it. Put more leads into it. Are the phone numbers active? Are they still looking for properties, right? Like nurture that. Create content for eBlasts. Command is a great resource to do your eBlasts from now that it's integrated with a product that's similar to MailChimp. Go in there and start creating eBlasts and campaigns. Or if you use programs like, for example, Constant Contact, some of you guys use that. All of them are great. Use this time to create email campaigns. Okay. Write cards to past clients, birthday cards to friends on Facebook. What if instead of writing on their Facebook profile, you popped open a little happy birthday card and popped it in the mail? So what if it's going to get there a day or 2 late? What a wonderful thing to have a handwritten card, right? Write some handwritten cards, your neighbors, your friends. Happy, what's the next holiday coming up? Is it really Halloween?
No,
Thanksgiving,
better Labor
Day.
Labor Day. Oh God. Early skipping Halloween. That's like my favorite one. Don't skip it. Don't skip it. Got it. Great. Get call lists from Title. We talked a little bit about that. The next sellers list. Get call lists from Title. Make calls. Go to all classes. There's nothing on the calendar that you guys really shouldn't be going to, with the exception of like the mentor meeting. That's just for the mentors. But put all these classes on the calendar. Again, that can be part of your office time. Call agents for open houses. We also need to lead generate for open houses. So that's a good opportunity to do that. Practice writing contracts. It's really simple and easy to start practicing to write contracts while you're here. Ask for scenarios from your mentors, from your coaches. I guarantee you could probably walk up to Deborah Bell 5 days a week and say, give me some type of example, and she'll write something down.
You could also come to our Wednesday contract writing classes.
Yes, that's gonna be a part of it. Meet with.
So sorry, Halley and Deborah. This Wednesday, there's also the class at 11:30 for HomeBot with the National Fidelity. So I kind of very much want to do the HomeBot class too.
Yeah, so
it's like overlapping.
Great. So is the Fidelity one that's on our calendar, or is it, long story short, right?
It's not here. I think it's their own.
I think it's their own class. Yeah, with HomeBot.
Oh, got
Long
it.
story short, Ray, don't worry about choosing one or the other. We will contact them and make sure that it's available. And see if they'll come in and maybe do it again just for our offices. Right? So Deborah will take point on this and try to contact it.
Okay, copy that.
Great. And then we're going to go over, because that's number 4. So let's keep going through. Meet with another agent. When we're in the offices, this is a great opportunity to meet with agents, right? Hey, Lenny, I always hear you yelling exciting things from your office, and I really want to know what's going on in there. Can we set up a time so I could get to know you and your business a little better? And as a new agent, I can maybe ask you some questions about what you've learned and what might help me to get started, right? Meet with other agents in the office. Knock, 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 you know. Hey, who else is in the office all the time? Brandy. Hey, Brandy, I'm knocking on your cubicle. Hey, Brandy. I know. I don't know if you know me, but I'm a new agent here to the office, and I know you've been in the industry a while. I can see you have a new listing. Congratulations. Listen, I just want to know if we can take 10 or 20 minutes together so I can just pick your brain a little bit about what you've learned and maybe what I can do better when I'm growing my business. Are you open to that? Totally, right? No one's going to say no. Okay. Think about that time too, meeting with other agents. It's going to bring you a lot of help. Okay. And then role play objection handlers. Role playing is always a great idea. So do you guys feel like 10 hours in the office can go by pretty fast if you've got a big list like this, right?
Yep.
And that's, again, if you're working full time, hopefully. But yeah, questions, comments, thoughts, anything else that's productive that you guys think should be added to this list while you're in the office? Mentors.
I think about when it comes to coming into the office.
Yeah.
Because I know I've experienced this before, just because I've, been in these, just because, sales and these types of groups and environments is not new for me. And it's like, you really have to come in with an intention and what your plan is in the office, because it's very easy to get caught up with talking to people. So, all that time we can sit there BSing with people in the bullpen, in the lobby, whatever. And I know I love it more than anything. I love BSing with people, but like, we have to come in with an intention. Like, I'm going to come in, find one of those little desks off to the side in the bullpen and do blah, blah, blah. So it's really coming in with a real clear intention and a plan of what you're going to do with that hour or two that you come in.
Absolutely. And Gina, that's a wonderful point, that we do still need to make sure that we're time blocking in here. That's why it's called be productive in the office. It's not just for you to show up in the office and tool around on Facebook for 3 hours and then leave, right? It's to actually be productive to your business. I also see people here hang out here all day. Well, if you're hanging out here all day, you're not lead generating, right? If you're hanging out here all day, you're not previewing properties, which we'll get talking about. Okay. Thank you, Gina. I love that input. Great. So number four, we talked a little bit about it. Practice your contracts. Okay. The number 4 tip for mastery is to practice the contracts. As a new agent, mastery of all contracts is easy because you are accessible to, you have access to the information. Okay. Now, for example, Deborah and I teach a class every Wednesday from 12 to 1. That is in person only, these sessions, but we are practicing and going through contracts. This week is an exception because we do have a wonderful content that we're having this week, which is winning offers. So normally we practice the contracts, we give you examples, you guys go through them, so that way we can make sure that we're crossing all of our T's and dotting all our I's. This week that's coming up is winning offers. We're going beyond the RPA. So great, I need to submit an offer. What does that look like? What do I say to the listing agent on the phone when I call ahead of time? What do I do about setting expectations to my client? How do I actually send it over? What does it look like? What do I say? Do I attach everything, right? It's about actually getting your offer accepted right now and putting yourself above the rest, rather than just submitting a PDF of the RPA. Okay. And again, that happens every week. Again, practice at home. Have your mentors grade them. So simple. So simple. Practice at home, right? RPAs for your dog, for your mom, for your grandma, for whoever you want. Practice, 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 right? You can even pick properties on the MLS, make it more realistic. That's fine too. Go to more in-depth classes. This is mainly just RPA practice that we have every week. Go into the more in-depth RPA trainings, which we do have on our calendars. People like Steve, people like Simon, the broker who teaches the contracts. Remember, it's not just the RPA I'm talking about. I'm also talking about the residential listing agreement. I'm talking about an AVID or an agent visual inspection disclosure form, the TDS, the SPQ. All of those things are things that we need to familiarize ourselves with. But we do have those classes. There's also a lot of resources that are available to you through your local board association and the California Association of Realtors. Okay. So through CAR, there's classes on there. There's also things called Forms Tutor, where it pulls up the form itself. And each little line, you can go on and click a bubble and it'll expand it and it'll kind of give it in layman's terms. This is what this is pertaining to or meaning. And then again, a lot of your local board associations will actually teach classes, or they'll have like the CAR attorneys come in and teach things. They'll have someone like Gov Hutchinson teach the RPA, for an example.
Steve is doing another one of the RPA classes August 6th.
In LA Harbor.
Yes.
I think it's August 4th. Oh, it is 6th. I'm so sorry.
No.
6th,
Yeah, August 6th,
Saturday, August 6th.
and that will be at LA Harbor, the LA Harbor office, yes, which is a cute office. You should go over there. Okay, great. So that was number 4, know your contracts. Okay, number 5, know your inventory. This is so important as a new licensee to master your business. Know your inventory. What's inventory?
Everything's on the-
Houses.
Yeah.
Houses are inventory. Properties are inventory. Land is inventory. It's our actual products, right? You need to know our inventory. So let's talk about becoming a master of pricing and knowing your inventory, which is synonymous to me. We need to do what's called a practice called previewing homes. Okay. Now, when we're previewing a home, we should really be previewing about 10 homes or 10 properties a week. What does previewing mean? Previewing means we're looking at a property on the MLS, we're showing up in person, and we're viewing the property. Okay? Previewing is not just trolling the MLS. Previewing is showing up and seeing the properties in person. Ideally, we want you to do 10 a week. That's for us to master the market. Now, a good way to bust a lot of these out is to do what once a week? Broker preview, right? Broker preview, there's usually 8 to 15 properties on there that you can hit one right after another, right? So when we're previewing properties, really what we're doing is we're putting on our realtor lens and we're looking at this property and we're saying, how much is the purchase price? Why is this the purchase price? How does the neighborhood affect the purchase price, or the location affect the purchase price, right? So like when we're driving there and we're seeing in person, how is the condition affecting the purchase price or the sale of the home, right? When we show up there in person, we're looking at what amenities and things like this are there around here. When I'm driving in here, I see, okay, great, there's a Target that's just down the street. There's a top-rated school, it looks like, across the way. Nice, curb appeal. Maybe it's close to the freeways. All of those things affect price, and we have to think of that when we're previewing. Any of the local features, right? Where are the good deals? Everyone's always looking for a good deal.
Yeah.
Am I right or am I right?
You're right.
Right?
Yep.
Even people who shop at Nordstrom twice a year get some type of special.
Yeah.
Their anniversary sale.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And everyone who shops at Nordstrom knows what I'm talking about. Right?
Yep.
Everyone likes a good deal. So when we're looking at previewing homes, we need to know, what is a good deal actually? What does that look like? Right? So put at it through the lens. Another question to ask, who is getting the market share? Whose listing is this? Right? Do we see 3, 4, 5 listings on the street by Deborah Bell? Or do we see Joe Schmo? Or do we see a Billy Bob? And are they coming from wherever? Maybe it's a company that has market share. Think about that. Is it that all the houses in this pocket are done by coastal properties agents? Is it that all the houses in this pocket are done by first name agents? Whatever it is, look at market share in both ways, individual and office ways. Why is that something that we think we should know when we're previewing properties, or could be valuable to us to know the trends in the market? Who has market share?
Start forming a relationship with that person so they know you when you put in an offer.
That's a great idea. Did you guys hear that on Zoom?
Yeah, I think I got that. She was saying you
Right.
start forming relationships with them.
Yeah, with the agents. Yeah, absolutely. Ask them questions about the area. They're clearly a neighborhood expert,
Right.
right? And you want to learn, that's a great one. What others? There's a couple others. What else?
This might sound kind of funny, but I know that
I like it.
when I looked at a couple of areas, this is a different thing, but when you're newer, or even if you're not newer, if you're looking at expanding your farm or finding a new farm to begin with, you don't want to go into an area where someone is literally dominating that area. Like, you want to find something where you just have, you could, but you know, like I would want to find an area where it's more of a level playing ground where I can make a splash a little bit quicker, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You hit the nail on the head when you said the word quicker. I think that's important. It's easier to gain market share when no one has market share, right? But don't be fooled. If someone has a majority market share, I guarantee you there's people that pissed off and will never want to work with that agent ever again.
Yep.
So much so that they feel so passionately about it, right? So it doesn't mean that there isn't opportunity in those areas. Your approach is just going to be different, right? But when we're previewing homes, we're putting at it through a lens of saying, who's the buyer that's moving in here? Who's the seller that's in this neighborhood that's trying to sell their property? Where are they going, right? Now, again, we're previewing and looking at all those things. Is there any potential leads that you could call or video messages about these properties that you're previewing, right? One of my favorite things to do when you're going through a property and you have an idea for a client, you have people in your pipeline, take a video inside the property. Hey, Paula, I know it's been a while since you and I chatted, and the last we spoke, you wanted a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. I just took a look at this property here, really gorgeous. It just made me think of you. I don't know if it's going to be the right fit. Message me and we can go by and look at it later. Right? Show them that you're in the property. Show them that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Right? I'm outside in the field just getting a sense of what the market's doing, and this one's listed pretty high. I know that we're looking more, you know, a little bit more in this price range, but let's have a conversation and take a look at it, right? Whatever it is, find a way to make it applicable. People love seeing inventory. You have the key to it. Give them a flavor, right? Don't do a full video walkthrough though without the listing agent's permission. I can't be clear enough about that, right? Don't do a full video walkthrough unless you have permission with the agent. Okay,
Can I throw something in there about the farms, or, you know, meeting other agents?
Sure, of course.
It's so funny because, and I got a really cool message from Leroy about this too. And honestly, like, you guys are so right. It really hit me like, you got to remember who you're listening to sometimes. And because I was so discouraged at my last company about going into a farm where somebody was dominating, but my gut, so it was a very different company than KW, obviously. But the funny thing is, in my gut, I kept saying, no, I think I can go in there and make an impact. And my gut kept telling me that. And then I heard myself, like, you know, saying what this last company said and believing that. And then all of a sudden you said, well, no, maybe you can go in. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what my gut told me months ago.
Yeah.
You know, and I had to be reminded of that. And so, yeah, that was just interesting that all of a sudden I realized what I was saying. And I was like, wait, I don't even really believe that myself.
Competition is healthy. It doesn't have to get nasty. It's healthy, right? And people that farm very heavily and very religiously and have done so for multiple years, people know who they know, and they know if they don't want to use them. And you know, yeah, go ahead.
And I want to say something that actually Miss Alison Van Wig said, and that really stuck with me regarding farms. She said that nobody owns that market area physically and legally. Nobody can own it. It doesn't matter. If you want to go in there, you go in there. That's what Alison Van Wig said in one of her classes.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. But you know, like I said, people have relationships with people like that.
This came up yesterday. Ray and I have accountability meetings now on Monday.
Good.
This came up in our conversation yesterday.
Good.
I was fearful about a farming area that I was kind of back and forth between. So it was exactly what we were talking about.
Farming, and I don't want this to go into a farming class. We probably need one too, but farming, remember, if it has the right numbers, if it makes sense on paper, if it makes sense for you financially, if it has the right turnover rate, if it's got the right owner to owner occupied ratio, go for it. You know what I mean? Go for it. It'll be fruitful. But again, Gina said the key word faster. That's the difference.
Right. Yeah.
Right? When no one has market share, it is faster to and easier to gain market share. Right? Got it. But again, know your inventory, master your pricing, run practice CMAs. If we're doing an open house for a property, if we're doing a showing for a property for a client, run a CMA. I love running CMAs before I write an offer on a property. I think it's so important to have that relationship with your client. It gives you practice as a new agent. It gives them perspective as they're placing an offer on the property, right? Especially with our competitive market where people are getting priced out of what they can afford.
Yep.
It's important for them to understand what the home you think is actually valued, right? Do lots of practices. Do it on your own house. Do it on your neighbor's house. And again, don't forget to have someone check your work. Do all this stuff. Show it with your mentor. You know, show it with other people in the office. Hey, I was practicing doing pricing of this home that's just got listed or it's just down the street. I went by and previewed it. We take a look at it. What do you think it's worth? Okay. Great. Lastly, number 5, go to Shannon's class, July 28th. 1 to 2 p.m. in person only. Shannon Jones with the Shannon Jones team. There are one of our top agents and teams in the market center here, and definitely here in our area in Long Beach and Lakewood in the top 5. She's going to teach appropriately pricing a listing, and it's going to be very, very, very good content from someone that's actually going through this market right now. We're seeing a lot of pricing shifts. It doesn't mean that homes are worth less. It just means that we're shifting, right? It just means that we're changing. We have to appropriately price stuff, okay? So again, just to review, without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning. Okay, Benjamin Franklin. So really, all these 5 things, just to review, number one was show up. The world is run by those who show up, right? What does that mean to you? Number 2 is what's more important than lead generation? Lead generation is important to master. 3, take time in the office to be productive. 4, practice your contracts. And 5, know your inventory and master your pricing. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Any other questions or comments while we're here? Yeah. I even
Thank-
kept an extra couple minutes. Yeah,
For taking time to talk to us and
of
teach
course.
us the lessons.
I love teaching you guys. I love teaching you guys. Okay. So again, take these lists, start working on mastering and showing up, mastering your skills. If you have any more questions, talk to your mentors, talk to Deborah, talk to me, and we can break some of this stuff down for you. But let's have a good, productive month. And hopefully I'll see most of you guys tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Got it.
Can we put the 2 o'clock? Slap record?
Second.
Yeah, we can put it in there. I was just trying to get her to stop recording.
There we go.